It's time for some brand new Kamen Rider Zeztz scans. The biggest reveal of this month is Kamen Rider Nox and his two different forms. So here's Kamen Rider Nox, his full body. He uses the Nox driver to transform. His capsums are based on previous nightmares that we've seen in the show, such as the recently defeated Shadow Nightmare. And according to this pic, these capsums work a lot like the Wonder Ride books from Saber, with how they open up after pressing a button, and they have two pages inside it. So it'll open up once and then open up again during a transformation. So Nox uses the Shadow capsum in order to transform to his main form, and then here we got his first auxiliary form, which is called Kamen Rider Nox Gun Shadow. So by using the gun capsum, which is of course based off the gun nightmare from the very first episode of Zeztz, he uses it to transform to this new form, which only gives him a gun on his right arm. So it's kind of like an attachment form. It doesn't really change his whole body, but I guess it's kind of neat. The gun weapon shares his main color scheme of red, blue, and white. And then his other auxiliary form is called Kamen Rider Nox Wolf Shadow. So during Kamen Rider Nox debut episode, which is going to end January, it will also debut the Wolf Nightmare. So after defeating that, he'll be getting this capsum, which will give him this new auxiliary form that gives him a sword weapon on his right arm. I bet 100% they're gonna combine Wolf and Gun together in the future episode so he can have both the sword and the gun in one form. So here's Gun Shadow fighting against Zeztz barrier. And this is an advertisement for the DX Nox driver. You insert the capsum and then rotate the driver like the Ziku driver, and then it'll open the capsum up like a Wonder Ride book, which will trigger the henshin sound. So his main form says haha like 6 times, and then says Rider, Nox, 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 Shadow. Here's Kamen Rider Nox with the Breakum Buster fighting against Zeztz Inazuma Plasma. And then you see images of Nox preparing to transform into Kamen Rider Nox. And over here we just see the new character that's introduced in the latest episode, which is called the Lady. And finally we see some images for the upcoming Hyper Battle DVD. So you know how in the opening of Zeztz, there's that one scene where the main cast members are giant like in Ultraman? Well, it seems like they're playing into that. They'll be fighting against a giant nightmare in the city, and then Zeztz will be using Paradigm Wonder to grow gigantic in order to fight it. Since this form had shown the ability to grow tiny before, it just makes sense that it can grow too. The giant nightmare appears to be a blue recolor of the Soul Veil from the Prison Nightmare episode, and then there's this girl wearing the Evangelion cosplay. We can see that Zero is also fighting against the giant nightmare as a giant himself, which reminds me of the Superhero Time bumper where Zero is huge. And then the Hyper Battle DVD form for Zeztz is called Impact Zeroider, which is a combination of Physicam Impact and the Coid Zeroider. So you can see that he's just wearing the arms and legs of the Coid Zeroider, but his helmet and his chest piece has a bit of extra armor. He uses the Zeztz and Coid Zeroider capsum to transform into this new form. Funnily enough, I saw a concept like this as a custom figure on Twitter the other day. So what do you think of these new scans for Kamen Rider Zeztz? What do you think of Nox's new rider form? And how about Zetz's Hyper Battle DVD form? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, see ya!